Well, it's Elisabeth Welch, who was an American expatriate, came here from New York in 1933, and Cole Porter, Ivor Novello, all the great gay composers wrote songs for her. She later, her career, lasted right from 1933 right up until she retired in the 1990s. But in the gay world, if you like, she's most famous for her appearance in Derek Jarman's film, The Tempest, 1979, where she's dressed up like a Christmas tree, a very beautiful Christmas tree, and the camp sailors are dancing around, and she sings her theme song, Stormy Weather. But I got to know her shortly after that.
And indeed you wrote a book about her, didn't you?
I wrote a biography of her, yeah. She was a very shy, not shy, she was a retiring sort of person. She didn't want her private life made public. So although she did talk to me about doing the book when she was alive, it actually was published after she died. But I didn't reveal anything kind of dramatic about her life. It was very much a celebration of her career. Elisabeth Welch is an interesting case because when I was a child, Aunt Esther told me, and my mum told me, that Esther used to make dresses for her before the war, because Aunt Esther's job was as a seamstress. And then Elisabeth Welch would sing on the radio, and my mum would say, "Oh, that's Elisabeth Welch, Aunt Esther used to make dresses for her." So that kind of planted the seed in my head. Roll on many, many years, 1982, I had the joy of going to one of her concerts, because she was like Paul Robeson, an African-American expatriate, settled in London in 1933, but never went back. She stayed here and had this long, very successful career on the London stage, in films, on television, on radio. And I met her at a time when she was just about starting this sort of renaissance in her career, because Derek Jarman had put her into a film of Shakespeare's The Tempest, and she sang her theme song, Stormy Weather. And then in the wake of that, she did a series of one-woman shows at the Riverside Studios, and I went along and saw her for the first time, met her backstage, and then later on that year went to see her at her home in London, and we got on like a house on fire, and we became great friends, and again that was a friendship that lasted until she passed away. I mean, she actually lived to be 99. When the war broke out, Aunt Esther was conscripted to do war work, so she had to give up that job as a seamstress, so she lost contact with Elisabeth Welch. They weren't friends, but Aunt Esther would deliver the dresses to her house. Elizabeth remembered her 40 years later as the friendly coloured lady with the Cockney accent, which was quite funny. And then I always wanted to try and engineer a meeting of the two, but it never came about. But I did ask, when Esther turned 80 in 1992, I got Elisabeth Welch to sign a photograph to her, which Esther was thrilled with.